Hi, welcome back to my channel. Also, I guess that's more of something you all should be saying to me because I just got back from my work trip. It was god-awful. I regret going on it, and I knew it was going to be bad, to be honest, but I didn't know how bad it was going to be because I just got home from work and I took my contacts out, and I've learned one of the quickest ways I can prevent a migraine from coming on is switching to my glasses. I didn't do any reading last week. I think I might have read 3 pages on the plane ride there, and that was it for the entire week. But I am currently in the middle of 2 books, and I need to start Kingdom of the Curse tonight to keep on track with my buddy read. I got home from my work trip on Saturday, and it was like around noonish, and then I sat on the couch and watched Castle until I went to bed. And then I woke up Sunday and I sat in my office and I painted while watching Castle until it was bedtime. My monthly wrap up for October is supposed to come out this coming Friday, and I haven't filmed it, which means I haven't filmed, edited, prepared, nothing for it. And it's Monday and I have dinner guests coming over tonight. I have Wednesday, which is busy. And I have no clue when I am actually going to film and edit that video. And I'm kind of in the mindset where I am so emotionally and physically exhausted from my work trip that it's the last thing I even want to do. I'm definitely feeling a slump coming on, and it's 100% because of that trip. Actually, when this video comes out, you'll have already known whether or not I have successfully or unsuccessfully done my wrap up for the month. Are we really close to my face? Anyways, it's been a while since I've talked to a camera, so I feel like I'm rambling and things are weird. Like I think I'm too overexposed. Am I too underexposed now? So I'm currently listening to Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa, something like that. I am just over 50% in it right now, and I'm feeling pretty mediocre about it. I feel like it's a really, really cool concept, but it was executed super poorly. So the whole entire idea is that in this world, there's this being, this fae king called the Bargainer, and he makes deals with people. And whenever you make a deal with him, he gives you a bead, like on a bracelet, and then he's able to call in that bead as a favor at any time. It's a contemporary fantasy, so it takes place in like modern day. Like our girl referenced Harry Potter at one point. There's cars, there's cell phones, everything that you can think of like that. Our main girl has, I can't remember the number, but it's like over 100 beads. I think it's over like 300 beads or something. And this is unheard of in this culture. And so we're seeing 2 different timelines. We're seeing her right after chapter 1. She has killed her stepfather and she makes a bargain with the Bargainer for the first time. And then her going to kind of like this high school to learn about her magical abilities because she is a siren. And then we're listening to her in present day as she is repaying those beads that the Bargainer in the past gave to her for different things that she asked for. And I think the main thing that's bothering me with this book is, yeah, that's a really cool idea, but it's executed so poorly because the main focus is not on this bargain or this deal. It's on the fact that both of these people are hot. And I understand that could be really good and it can be done super well, but I don't believe either of these characters falling for the other person. I don't ship it. I mean, I think they're fine people, but they're not super written well, and the plot, I'm not totally sure. There's this whole entire thing about these like unexpected pregnancies that are popping up in these like coffin babies, and I just don't understand how anything relates to each other, and the book is so freaking short. It's just poorly done. But the other book that I'm reading right now, I'm loving, and it might be a 5-star. I'm only 25% through Sea of Ruin, but I think it's really freaking fantastic, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I did do a TikTok for this, the first part of this reading vlog for this book, and I am going to be reading this book for a secret TBR, but let me tell you briefly what it's about since I haven't said much of anything in this video. This is the story of a girl who her father was a pirate king, and she makes it out on her own, and she wasn't raised a pirate, but at the age of, I think it's 14, becomes a pirate and rules her own ship and sails around. And she was betrayed by the man that she loved 2 years ago, and her father left her these clues when she was 14, right before he died, about how to find this like treasure that he had left her. And so the man who she loved shows back up in her life and steals the clues and is basically like, I won't give you these clues back until you forgive me. And it's really hot. It's really sexy. It's really smutty. Our main girl is a badass and I really like her a lot. I know that there's going to be super lots of trigger warnings moving forward in the book because of some reviews I read, and I know that like on-page rape has already happened, but I'm really freaking enjoying it, and it's easy writing, but it's fun and it's sexy, and it's kind of what I'm in the mood for right now, except for the fact that I'm not in the mood to read. If Kingdom of the Cursed like doesn't with me, I probably will message my buddy Reed and be like, yo, I need to push this out 1 week because I am just slumping. Hey, it's Tuesday. We don't hang out much in my office, but today I have quite a large pile of books on my floor that I am going to photograph and sell or donate or figure out what I'm doing with. And they're right there. So we're gonna be talking in my office today. I think my hair looks so cute today too. First off. Second off, I finished Rhapsodic this morning. I'm still like very much not in the mood to read anything, not wanting to do it, just struggling in general to pick up a book. But I'm glad I finished that because it means that no matter what, this week at least I finished one thing. I ended up rating it a 2.5 out of 5 star, and honestly I feel like I kind of knew that from the beginning of the book that it wasn't just gonna be like an amazing book for me. I've already spoken to you guys a little bit about my struggle with just the believability of the book, and really kind of what my rating boils down to is it was a really, really cool concept, but I felt like the execution wasn't there. But I did actually really like the ending. Not enough to make up for the rest of the book and not enough to make me want to read the sequel, because what I liked about the ending is when you are introduced to the main villain of the story. I thought he was really interesting and really cool to read about, but the way his storyline ends, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be in any future books. That's it. That's really all I have to say about that book, to be honest. Hello, it's Wednesday. I just want to do a brief check-in. I just finished filming my wrap-up, so I did decide to actually film one and edit it and get it uploaded. We'll see how that all goes, but it's going to be as quick as I physically could make it because mental health is still low. I'm feeling better today, but honestly, I feel like after this weekend, I'm going to be doing a lot better. Once I can have some time to like sleep and rest and read and like get back on track with my life and not feel so much like I'm just behind on everything. Last night, I did decide to start another book, another audiobook, I should say. I still haven't touched my physical book in a few days, but that's fine. I'm really enjoying it, and I will wait until I'm ready to read again so that I can enjoy it. So I decided to start the book Not Even Bones by Schaeffer. I'm looking at it on my phone right now. Currently, I'm 50% through it. It's only like 10 hours, so it's not that big of a deal to like get through it pretty quickly. I'm hoping to make like another 30 minutes of progress tonight. There are parts of it I'm really enjoying. There are parts of it that I don't necessarily love. It weirdly reminds me of the series by Alexandra Bracken. What is that? The Darkest Minds. And I meant to look up if they're narrated by the same person because there's just like something about the two books that remind me of each other, and I don't know what it is because they're very, very different books. If you've read The Darkest Minds, it's a YA dystopian. It's a YA dystopian romance. It's a very good YA dystopian, which I love YA dystopia. Like, I'm not judging it or anything, because there are some bad ones out there that I also really enjoy, but it is just a YA dystopia. And this book is very much, I guess it's a YA magical realism contemporary. I guess it might be a dystopia. Let me look up okay, so Goodreads calls it a horror. I could definitely see that there have been some moments where I've actually felt like horrified by some of the things that are happening in the story, but I don't know if I would necessarily only categorize it as that. And it's calling it an urban fantasy supernatural thriller, which I could totally see. We're gonna stop talking about The Darkest Minds because I don't know why I'm making that connection between the two books, but I am. But Not Even Bones is about this girl. She lives with her mom, and her mom hunts magical creatures, supernatural beings, and harvests their organs and sells them on the black market. And our main girl, whose name is Nina, or is it Nita? Nita, her whole entire job is to do the actual dissections once her mom has brought her the creatures, and she like cuts them up and puts them in jars so that her mom can sell them. And very quickly the story changes, and one of the tropes that I don't see it often at all, but is in this book, and it's something that I really love, and I saw it in The Winner's Curse, The Winner's Choice. I don't remember what that book was called. But it's like the switching of sides. So you have like a character in good standing and a character in a bad standing, and you see them in their standings for a part of the book, and then they swap. So the character who was in a poorer or worse off setting is now doing really well, and the character who is doing really well is now doing poorly. I just love that. I love it. You know what? That's in Thorn too. You can't see it, but Thorn's right here, and that whole entire trope is in that book as well. I really enjoy that. I don't know what to call that, but I should definitely see if I can do a trope test on that kind of a book. It's easy to read. It reminds me a lot of like YA dystopia, and there are some horrific elements, and there's some magic-ish. There's some supernatural beings. It's fun. I would recommend it. I like think about it when I'm not reading it, which is great because I think it's helping me get out of my slump. Also, me and my friend who and I, we were supposed to read Kingdom of the Curse together. We're going to be starting that tomorrow. So I will actually be talking a little bit about that book in this vlog. Hello, welcome to Thursday. I'm doing really, really good today. I'm feeling like mental health wise that it's a high. I haven't shown you guys yet, but my mom came into my apartment while I was gone and decorated it all for Christmas. So my tree is up. And I actually didn't have a tree before, and that's why she did it, is because she bought me a tree for this place because I didn't have a place before. And it's actually bringing me a lot of joy, and it's really happy. And I know that like I am a ridiculous human being who was already decorated for Christmas, and it was literally October 31st when I did it, or it was done for me, but it makes me happy, and that's all that really matters right now because we've been having some low days. So I finished Not Even Bones. My dudes, I loved it. I really loved it. It was so good. When I finished it, I wanted to pick up the sequel right away, and it also made me want to go back and reread The Darkest Minds and then eventually continue on with that series, because I never did continue on with that series, and there was really no reason other than I just don't like sequels that often. And so I don't often pick up sequels because I feel like they're just gonna be a letdown after the first books. But it was just exactly what I needed, and it put me right back in the mood of wanting to read and like wanting to consume literature, and it's such a good feeling, right? So I ended up rating it a 4.75 out of 5 stars, just because the beginning was kind of slow and it took me a little bit to get into the story, about like 2 hours. And then once I was into it though, I was hooked. I will be reading the sequel. There's a good chance I'll be reading it next week. I did pick up a book for a secret TBR. That's my next audiobook. So I'm going to be listening to that right now. And I'm hoping to finish that up Saturday or Sunday. So after that, I might pick up the sequel to Not Even Bones. I'm just feeling it right now. Well, those were some famous last words. Oh God, I'm wearing the same color as the wall behind me. This works. So mental health has been low. It is currently Saturday. It is 1:45. I am just now getting off the couch / getting out of bed for the day. I'm gonna run over to my grandma's and help her with some setup of some stuff that she needs help with, and then I'm gonna go for a run because even though I feel like my energy is really low, I used to run a few years ago and it used to bring me a lot of joy, and I did it one day this week and I think it really helped me feel better. Now I walk about 5 miles every single day, so it's not going to be like a crazy run or anything like that. I'm not going to be like pushing myself. I'm just going to get out into the fresh air and enjoy myself for a little bit. It's currently 55 here in Florida, which if you're unaware, Florida weather, that's cold. That's really cold for me. So running will feel good. Getting out in the outdoor air will feel good. I have not read a single word since I last talked to you guys though. home. Well, I went grocery shopping after my walk/run, and now I'm home. I left my tea over there. I just got 2 packages in the mail, and I want to open them with you really quickly before I guess we wrap up this week. Oh, I also forgot to tell you, I did start Kingdom of the Cursed. I don't know where it is right now. One of my subscribers, hi Kayla, they were super sweet of you to message me, saw on my bookshelf organization video that I had all 4 books in the, what's it called? It's The Winter's Promise. I can't think of what the series is called. Mirror Visitor Quartet. But my first 2 were paperback and my last 2 were hardback. And she asked if I would like her hardbacks because she had the first 2 in hardback and didn't have any of the other ones and wasn't planning on continuing with the series. So I, of course, said, heck yeah, that's awesome. Please let me pay for shipping. So she sent them to me, and you already know what these are gonna be then. Oh, is there gonna be a little note? Okay, I might have to read the note off camera because I'm super emotional right now. But we have, oh my god, this is so pretty in hardback. Winter's Promise. And let me open up the other one before I look at the note. Kayla, these are so freaking cutely wrapped. I love this. And the second one is, of course, Missing of Claire de Lune. I have not made up my mind yet whether or not I'm gonna get rid of my paperbacks. I'm a little attached to them since they were the editions I actually read, and since I gave both of the first 2 books 5 out of 5 stars, I don't see a reason to necessarily get rid of them. The other books that I have 2 editions of, The Invasion of the Tierling, which I kind of want to complete my paperback collection of that. Okay, time to read the note. Oh, that is so sweet, Kayla. Yeah, I'm going to leave this in probably A Winter's Promise in the front cover so that your note is with me forever, because that's super sweet, and oh my god, that it just made my day so much. Okay, let's go upstairs and put them in. Okay, so here's where they are. I'm gonna take the paperbacks out, and the 4th book is in my pile of books I need to read. So give me a minute. Look how freaking pretty they are. Oh my god. Oh, okay, hold up. I am freaking out. This looks amazing, and I'm so excited about this. And you know what? I do love my paperbacks, so I'm gonna be hanging on to my paperbacks at least for the first 2. I don't know if I'll complete my series in paperbacks as well, but it kind of depends, I guess, on how I feel about book 4. But thank you, Kayla, again so much. You really made like my entire week. So I started Kingdom of the Cursed on Thursday, and I read my 50 pages Thursday, and then I read, I think it was like 15 pages yesterday. I was supposed to read 50 both days. So today I need to catch up and get to page 150. I'm at page 65 right now, so that's not a huge deal. I'll definitely do that tonight. I'm enjoying the book, but I feel like, actually I wrote all my notes on Goodreads. Let me see what I said because I'm pulling a blank. Okay, so the pacing is super weird. Like from page to page, it kind of feels like some pages are super fast and some pages are super slow. It feels like the author like shifted vibes. So all I said was this book needs a vibe check because it just feels really different from book 1. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's taking me some time to adjust to it and to get into the story. And then the final thing I said, which is probably the biggest complaint that I have that's actually like a real complaint, is I'm pretty convinced that Kerri Maniscalco only knows 4 of the 7 deadly sins because she really only talks about 4 of them. I was really excited in book 1 that we focused on 4 of them because I thought that that meant as the series continued we'd get more of the other ones, and it might be the case, but at the very beginning of this book, I don't want to spoil anything about book 1, and this book takes place right, like literally book 1 ends, book 2 picks up right after that, and so I really enjoyed that. And so our main character Amelia is traveling through, I don't want to spoil it, she's traveling through somewhere, and to get through that place she has to go through this thing called the sin corridor, and so that means that she's gonna have to face all 7 of the deadly sins to see which one is kind of like her biggest weakness, right? And so she faces lust, pride, greed, and wrath, and she never has to face, at least on page, wait, no, she either faced greed or envy, but she didn't face the other one, and then she didn't face gluttony or sloth. And I just we haven't met either Gluttony or Sloth, and I know that I'm like really excited to see more of Pride and to see more of Lust because I think they're going to be really fun characters to read through, but I really wanted to see all 7 of the Princes of Hell, and I just feel like I'm getting a little bit let down because it kind of to me feels like Kerri Maniscalco had to edit things down in order to make the story like fast-paced enough to be a YA fantasy, whereas if she hadn't been limited by that and had decided to turn this into something epic, I think it would have been really, really cool. So I guess my complaint is that the book is not what I wanted it to be. I'm projecting onto the book. I'm enjoying it. The first 50 pages really didn't grip me, but I will say the 15 pages after that, I'm like into the story a lot more now and I want to keep reading. I'm excited to keep reading, but I have no clue what this plot is yet, so I'm not gonna be able to tell you anything about that. And even when I do find out, it will 100% spoil book 1, so I won't be able to say really anything for you all. I know that I literally just reorganized my bookshelves and that I'm sitting down to read Kingdom of the Cursed finally, and I'm definitely not stalling. I've read like 20 pages, okay? Not stalling, you're stalling. But I keep watching people's videos and I love when they have their TBR separate. And I used to have all of my TBR books separate, and then this time I decided to combine them. So I thought I would get a shelf for up there that I would keep my TBR on, but that involves me going to the store tomorrow and getting a shelf and then hanging said shelf. So then I thought I could clear off on top of my bookcase, and that could be my TBR shelf. I do have this one cubby free, but I don't think it's gonna be big enough. So I think I'm gonna try putting them on top and seeing how I like that. Okay, here's what it looks like, and I'm actually really glad I did it because I like seeing all of my unread books together and kind of having a good grasp of what I've read and what I haven't read. So I have my Deer Skull here. Hi, that's Jeffrey if you haven't met him yet. And then I have 2 horror books, and then I have some epic fantasy falling into my sci-fi / dystopian, falling into more fantasy, falling into my giant fantasy stack here. So I finished yesterday's section of Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm on page 102, so I have about 50 more pages to read tonight. I realized that I bought a pomegranate today, so I really want to try that. I had some the other day for the first time, and it was really, really good. And I've never sliced one of these open before and gotten the seeds out, so I definitely need to Google that. The next 50 pages of this, what do I have to say? Pacing is still super weird. The first like 40 pages of that section were like really fast paced, really good, really like into it. And then like the last 10-15 pages were super slow. I can't even begin to explain to you how much description is in this book, but there was an entire 3 pages where she was just describing a library. There's so much description. Like, why is she overly describing everything? It's really slowing down the pacing in some of these sections. I'm enjoying it. I still don't know what the plot is of this book, but there has been this announcement of some kind of festival that's gonna happen, and Amelia at the festival is going to have to sacrifice one of her biggest fears. And I don't know if that means like she's gonna have to like spill a secret, or if like literally she's gonna be giving up that fear. Okay, Google said to cut off the top and the bottom just like a little bit, and then when I can see where the different ridges are, to slice like 1/4 of an inch there. So let's try that real quick. So oh, it's a beautiful color. You see these ridges? I'm gonna have to cut there, just like a little bit, and then pull it apart, kind of like an orange, I'm guessing. Okay, this is working out super fantastically. So I'm gonna keep doing this off camera and then try it. Okay, so I'm gonna just have some of the seeds right now, and hopefully, oh my god, I don't get it, my dudes. Like, Persephone, how did she stop at 6? Like 6. I'm probably gonna eat this entire thing right now. It's just so freaking good. Okay, so I got a large amount of pomegranate seeds out of that, and I did eat quite a few while doing it. It took me about 10 minutes to get all of them out. So I gotta do some research and figure out how acidic they are to know how many I can eat, because I can't eat a ton of acidic foods. Anyways, excuse me, I'm in love with pomegranates, but I might be allergic to them too. These bitches might literally be my favorite fruit that I've ever had. They remind me so much of oranges, and I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel, but I used to eat everything fine, and then later in life, because of acid problems, I had to give up a lot of foods. And then when I reintroduced some of them into my diet, I have like really bad reactions to them. And so just as like an easy way to explain it, I just tell everyone that I'm allergic to citrus because I can technically eat it, but it makes me really sneezy. It makes my stomach upset. It makes me cough a lot. It makes me not feel good. And so I might as well just not eat it. So I don't eat citrus, but I know what citrus tastes like, and I miss oranges so goddamn much, like so much. And I don't think that my reaction is bad enough that I'm going to give up pomegranates, but I might just have to eat them in smaller amounts than I was just like shoveling into my face, to be honest. Good morning. It is actually morning, and I am actually getting out of bed today. I got a great night's sleep last night because last night was daylight savings time. So even though, according to the clocks, it's 7:55, basically 8 a.m., my brain thinks it's 9 a.m. So I feel like I slept in and got amazing sleep, and it's still early. So that's a great feeling. It is colder out today than it was yesterday. I think yesterday I told you it was 55. Right now it is 48 out, but it's gonna get warmer in the afternoon than it did yesterday. So 55 yesterday was our high. Whereas today, I think the high is going to be up for, it's into like 65. Last night, let's talk about what you're really here for. I made it to page 165 in Kingdom of the Cursed. Yes, I just forgot what book I'm reading. So that means that I read everything that I needed to read for up until yesterday's section and then a bit of today's section. So that'll be good because I think I'm going to sit down now and finish up today's section and then possibly read tomorrow's section if it's going really well. I want to say first off, I'm enjoying the book. I feel like I am genuinely enjoying book 2 more than I enjoyed book 1, but I don't think that book 2 is as well done or as good of a book as book 1 was. I am stopping on Goodreads every 50 pages and just putting in little notes because my friend unfortunately isn't able to keep up with our schedule right now, and our schedule is for every 50 pages. So when we are eventually able to discuss, I want me to actually be able to remember what I wanted to say. So every 50 pages, I'm putting like just little like bullet points into my update on Goodreads. And actually that's really great for me in general. I think that's something I should consider doing in the future. So you already heard my first ones, which were I had issue with pacing, the vibe is weird or different, and then I don't think Kerri Maniscalco knows all 7 of the deadly sins. In my 100-page update, I said the pacing is still super weird, and I actually figured out page 150 section why the pacing is weird. I'll get to that in just a second. At page 100, I still didn't know what the plot was, and I really felt driven to a connection with Gluttony and Sloth because they were mentioned as being the 2 princes that hadn't invited Amelia yet to like this feast thing that's going to be happening. And it's because of their sins. Like Gluttony is basically too busy consuming to stop and invite her, and Sloth is too lazy to invite her. But I was like, well, I still want to know more about them. Like what drives them? What drives them to control all of the power if their drive is driven in laziness? I'm just so interested in those two. Like I can't. So at the 150 page mark, I said, I still don't know what the plot is. And I'm sticking with that. I don't know what the plot of this book is yet, and I haven't read the summary. Maybe the summary would help me understand. One of my next bullet was there was this part where someone like disrespected Amelia, and Wrath like jumped on that shit and like protected her and like basically destroyed the man. Oh, the sun's coming out. Hold up. Basically destroyed the man, and Amelia came to him afterwards and was like, you can't do that. If I'm going to be the queen of this realm, you need to let me. The sun is getting brighter. Oh my God. There we go. She was basically like, you need to let me protect myself first. Like, I understand that I'm going to be your queen and that, you know, you have a duty to protect me, whatever, blah, 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 but I need to be feared. And I was like, yes, Amelia, yes, that's what I want. my heroine to say. Then I started to notice that Wrath's powers are kind of like unexplained. He can just kind of do whatever the hell he wants to do, and there's no explanation or rules, but he just kind of can do whatever he wants to do, whatever he needs to be able to do. And then there was the lagoon scene, which if you've read the book, you're not about to forget that scene anytime soon. I made it to page 200 of Kingdom of the Cursed. It's over there on the couch. So I'm caught up with where I needed to be today. I'm gonna attempt to read tomorrow's section as well, but I'm not feeling it right now. That last 50 pages that I just read, I know up until now I've been saying that like it's not as good as book one, but I'm still like enjoying it a lot. It's just not that great. Well, that last bit annoyed me and kind of pissed me off and made me not enjoy the book. I'm not vibing with it. And I decided to go to the bookstore to treat myself, and I wandered around for a long time and didn't find anything I wanted or liked, and that was perfectly fine until right at the end, I picked up what might be the world's prettiest book ever. Like, look at that. So yeah, I kind of want to pick this up right now because it is a pretty big book. It's a chunker, which is also part of why I picked it up, because it's YA, so the words are pretty big on every single page, but it's a chunker. I love chunkers. It's 600 pages, and if I remember correctly, it's about in this world there used to be shapeshifters and they were all killed and buried, but there's this common idea or this common myth that if you dig up a shapeshifter's body, they'll come back to life and cause problems. And then there's this group of people, it's multiple POVs, and there's a bunch of different people who need to dig up the shapeshifter's body for different reasons. And I think like the main reason is that they're trying to steal the cursed sword that was buried with the shapeshifter. So that sounds really exciting to me. Oh, the different POVs, there's one that's a healer who is obsessed with tracking down the man who murdered her twin brother, a runaway member of the warlord's devoted order haunted by his sister's ghost, a snidey archaeologist bent on finding the cure to his magical wasting disease, and a girl desperate to escape the cloistered life she didn't choose. But I want to thank you all for watching and for sticking with me until the end of this video. You're awesome. Okay, that's it. I have nothing else to say now. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, I don't remember how my outro goes, but I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye.